Hello to my replay viewers. Interesting, I was just listening to an audiobook and I thought it was going to cut out as soon as I went live, but it's carried on playing. It's stopped now, thank goodness. I was just listening to an audiobook and it was really great because it's a very, very simple concept, and that's the title of this live. Please heal my fear-based thoughts. And the concluding little bit that I was just listening to there was, have you ever thought that maybe what you don't need to fix is the problem, but what you need to fix is your thoughts about the problem? And that comes back to a quote, I think it's from Johnny Depp in that movie Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it's the character who actually says it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if who actually says it, but it's always got a picture of Johnny Depp's character, who I can't remember now, the pirate anyway. And he says, the problem is not the problem is how you deal with the problem, or something like that, words to that effect. I'll find the quote and post it in the comments later on. But it was really interesting. So I really loved the fact that you can say this little prayer to yourself. Okay, it doesn't have to be a prayer. The book is called The Only Little Prayer You Ever Need, or something like that. And the prayer is, please heal my fear-based thoughts. And that's a really cool idea, because whatever it is that you are worrying about, and this comes back to what we were talking about in earlier lives as well, in that anxiety comes, and that fear comes from things that you've had in the past, or things that people have said to you in the past, and you've projected that forward into something in the future that you're scared of, or you're worried about, and it's all inside your head. I've done some podcasts about this in the past as well, where basically nothing happens outside of us, everything happens inside our heads. Now obviously you can see the trees and so forth, but it's actually your eyes that are perceiving the trees and processing them and putting them inside your head and then creating them inside your head. So a really good book I read a little while back, again one of these audios on Blinkist.com. If you're not on Blinkist.com, I don't know what I did earlier on. I took a picture of the last sort of 20 or 30 books I've read on Blinkist.com over the last month or so, and I'll post those in the comments as well. But one of those books was something like A World Without Your Head, or something like that. Nobody has their head. Hello Yvette, by the way, I missed to say hello to you, and there's somebody else watching now. And it's kind of, it's a very sort of esoterical kind of Zen type thing about how we actually haven't got a head, even though I'm looking at myself here right now and I can see my head. It's actually only represents an electronic representation of what the camera is seeing. So is my head actually really here, or is it just presenting it to me as if I should? The book is obviously goes into a lot more detail on that, but it's really kind of cool, funky kind of thinking about what's real and what's not real in the world around us. And the long and the short of it is everything is inside our own heads. So our whole world that we perceive around us, everything that we do is inside our own heads, and we create our own, as my grandfather used to say, great one, we create our own heaven and hell. And it's you to choose whether you want to have your head filled with hell or you want your head filled with heaven. It's entirely up to you to choose which one you prefer. It's just a matter of whether or not you have the tools to change those thoughts and choose those thoughts yourself, and whether or not you believe you can change your thoughts as well. That's the other thing. A lot of people say that they can't change their thoughts. Of course you absolutely can. Hi Daniel, how you doing? And Christine, well done. So interestingly, I've come out here to my thinking spot. I thought my thinking spot, and if you've watched any of my live videos before, you'll have spotted that there used to be a little log over there that I put there to sit on in the woods, and there was a whole bunch of logs here as well. That's where I took them from, which came from this tree over here, which the council chopped a big branch off a few weeks ago, and I rearranged all this stuff so I could go and sit over in the forest there and have a think in a moment. But I've come back today and it's gone. I haven't been able to get here for a couple of days because they've been putting fibre broadband along the pathway that comes into this woods. I guess I could have always gone all the way around the block, but it's quite a long way around the block there, so I could have just cut through as well, just jumped over, but I just thought, it's a good excuse, reason, good excuse not to come in and do a live. And I wasn't really going to do one today as well, but then I thought I'll do a really quick one about the fact that the log's missing, and about the little prayer to please heal my fear-based thoughts, which I thought was a really great kind of concept. It's interesting, you get a whole book condensed down into 15 minutes. Yes, I don't know who it is. I don't know whether the council will come back to reclaim the logs, or somebody else has taken them for their log burning fire at home, perhaps. Who knows? Don't want to feel bitter about it. Their need was obviously greater than mine. Yes, so yeah, I was just going to do a quick one about the logs disappearing, and I don't want to feel bitter about that, so that's all very cool. I was in the middle of saying something then, and I got distracted, and I forgot all about what I was going to say. Never mind. Yeah. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say today, really. Really great book from Blinkist. Oh, I was saying, that's what I was saying. There you go, I remembered. How you can get a whole book that somebody's obviously written, hundreds of pages, presumably, condensed down on Blinkist into a 15-minute summary of the whole book, which is what I listen to every single day on my run. Well worth it. If you haven't got Blinkist.com, go get it. Like I said, I've read 30 odd books in the last month, or listened to the summaries of, I guess you could say. And then I've condensed that whole book into, it's all right, Christine, that whole book down into one line. So it's not even the title of the book either, which is kind of weird as well. I think I would have called the book the same thing. So then but then again, I suppose you're not encouraging people to buy the book because they've just got the idea of please heal my fear-based thoughts, as opposed to the only prayer you ever need. Because the only prayer you ever need, you kind of have to get the book to find out what that prayer is. They call it a prayer, kind of a mantra, I suppose, really, isn't it? But it's a really good one because it allows you to recognise that it's not just the things that are happening to you, it's how you're reacting to these things. Long time ago, before I started really struggling with depression, which I'm now completely over, by the way, and that's why I teach other people how to overcome depression. I used to have people coming up to me because I used to be a very, very, very positive person, and like nothing would faze me at all. And people used to regularly say to me, God, you've had all this horrible stuff happen to you, John. How are you so upbeat and happy and still going on and not letting it affect you? And I didn't really understand why, if I'm honest, because it was just natural to me that that's what happened. I took a few too many hits, and I talked about this in an earlier live as well, is that sometimes you can have, it's like you can accept one hit and you can maybe accept 2 hits, but once you've got 3 or 4 on you, it's tough, and it can wipe you out. And that's kind of what happened to me, really. But I'm back now. I'm back. Yeah. Lockdown has actually been really good for me. It's given me a real chance to focus on me and my thoughts and what I need to be focusing on. And I recognise that I have been using events and travel as an excuse for not doing the work that needed to be done to get me to where I needed to get to. Hey Carl, how you doing? God, I haven't spoken to you in ages, have I? Yeah, so I've now done a lot of internal work, working on my soul, I guess, really, and my thoughts and my feelings, and what I want to focus on, and looking back as well. I've been doing some great work with a lady called Vicky O. Can't pronounce her surname. It's Ostrovsky, maybe, or something like that. Although, to be honest, sometimes it does feel like I'm doing most of the work. The last 2 or 3 days I've actually been recording an audio, so I wake up in the mornings and I'll be going, what's been going on in my mind? So it's almost like an audio journal I've been recording. And actually, while I was just standing over by the allotments, which is part of my run just now, I was thinking to myself, I hear a lot of people talking about journaling and how they stop and write everything they're thinking about, and I've always shied away from that. I've really struggled with that because I can't really write as fast as my thoughts can think. And I feel like I want to organise my thoughts too much when I'm writing, and my hand gets tired way too quickly when I'm writing because I don't really write anymore because I'm a typer. But what I found with the audio ones is that I can ramble on quite happily for 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, about everything that's going on in my head, and I never feel like I'm being slowed down by the medium. So I was just thinking to myself, I wonder if there's a service there you could do. I mean, you could use something like rev.com to turn the audio into text, because of course the problem with an audio is you have to listen to the whole thing to be able to see. You can't like pick out highlight bits of it. So if you obviously sent that audio text to rev.com, actually you could even potentially record it into Google Docs, and it will use their voice recognition to turn it into an actual document. Wouldn't be very accurate, but probably be close enough to get the gist of it. Anyway, there you go. Mild thoughts going on there. I think somebody just gave me a thumbs up. I missed it. Thank you. Probably Carl. Anyway, So, hey Jordan, how you doing? Oh, you're talking about journaling, how you struggle with journaling. Try doing audio notes. I found that very useful, as I just said, in fact. The trouble with Facebook, of course, is that the comments are always a little bit delayed on the actual thing I'm talking about. Right, anyway, that's me done for today. This was supposed to be a really, really quick one. Oh, I was going to walk out to the where they're doing the fibre broadband. Which is why I haven't been in my little thinking spot. And for those of you who didn't hear me earlier on, I used to have a little log there that I set up that I could sit on and think after my run every day. And somebody's come along and taken my logs away. Joyful. I guess their need was greater than mine. Anyway, so I'm coming out to the road now, and you'll see how busy things are. Look, there's like 3 or 4 cars waiting at the traffic lights. It's really busy. There was like traffic jam of people earlier on down the road when I was running. There was like 4 of us running, and somebody on a bicycle and a couple of cars, and we all kind of just stood back and went, okay, we've got to figure out how to get past each other without and still maintain our 2-meter gaps. I hear in other towns it's been a complete nightmare in going to town and so forth. Luckily in Cirencester it's relatively quiet, so and we're relatively well-behaved people as well in Cirencester. Anyway, you can see here the oh, there you go, where they've been putting in the fibre broadband, and obviously the people chopping up the road over there, making things worse. Oh, it's a car go past. They've got a really cool little digger thing. It's got this like a thing that's obviously a bit wider than that. It's as wide as the hole that's there, and they kind of drive along the road, and it's got these massive, great, like chunky metal bits on it. Just rips up the road. I'll pop a photograph of that in the comments as well. I took a photograph yesterday when it was just after it stopped working. So anyway. Hello, boy. You're on Facebook. Good work. Anyway, here you go, guys. Have a nice, whatever day it is today. Thursday? Thursday. Have a lovely Thursday. Take care. Speak to you later. Bye for now. Love you all. Yeah, Maggie, next time you're here, drop me a message and we'll have a coffee. Nice to see you too, Gregory, by the way. Didn't see you there. Spotted you. Saw you live in one of the groups yesterday about your dieting thing. Very interesting. Didn't know that was all you thought you were about opera. By the way, guys, if you're interested, you're watching this, and you're interested in learning more about classical music and understanding it, so you can go to a concert and really understand what's going on and so forth, get in touch with Gregory. He's going to do a workshop or a masterclass or something on how to understand classical music. A little bit like when you're doing wine tasting, that type of stuff, I imagine. Where it's all about, you know, understanding the tannins and the legs and all that kind of stuff they do with wine tasting, but doing the same sort of thing with classical music. So hopefully, if you've seen that, Gregory, that might help you figure out how to describe it to the layperson, because I'm just a layperson. I've got no idea. Okay, take care, guys. Bye for now.